speak it though, I speak it though. What's on your mind? What's on your mind is deep though. We'll speak it though. We on the air, we on the air. Just take
Live
down,
and
I'ma take
direct.
it there. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Yeah, I talk about it, but I'm real about it. I speak on it, but don't catch feels about it. We can chop it up like it's nothing, baby. Things that have you.
Going on, everybody? We are back here live here on the OT Radio Show, and we have a special guest today. When I tell you special guest, y'all, I mean a special guest. We are starting it off right on this Monday. Can't wait, can't wait, can't wait. Well, listen, I got a former registered nurse, unexpected widow, and Miss Page is joining me here on the show. And when I tell y'all, this is going to be great. This is going to be great because there's a lot of things that we're going to be talking about here. We're going to get some life lessons, y'all. Ladies, get ready. We're going to give you a little bit of survival tips. We're going to give you some quotes. I have it here. And guess what? Her book come out tomorrow. So we're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about every single thing. But hey, I have a Miss Debbie is here. She's joining me. Producers, can y'all bring her in? Producer said we're going to bring her in, and we are going to get right to it. Right to it. Miss Deb, can you hear me? Are you here with me right now? Let's see, producers. Did y'all add her? Please add her to the stream. Yes, there she go. How are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. Thank you. Thank you.
Listen, well, first of all, thank you for joining me here on the show on this beautiful Monday. So I appreciate you so much.
Oh, thank you. And what an honor. I just was thrilled when I got the invitation. So thank you very much.
Yes, yes, yes. So now since I have you on, so can you give our listeners and people who subscribe tell us where you from, how did you get started?
Well, I actually grew up in South Carolina. Then I went to Atlanta to go to nursing school, and I was there for
Uh-huh.
24 years before
Mm-hmm.
locating to New England. So now I'm a long ways away. But
Wow.
yes. And so I moved up to New England as a single mom with 3 children and started
Mm-hmm.
life all over again, which when I look back, I say, well, that was a pretty brave thing to do. And oh gosh, my mother wasn't very happy with me. In fact, she wouldn't talk to me for 2 years.
Uh-huh.
she, she said a single woman doesn't just take off and move away. And I'm like, well, okay, but I did. So, and I loved her dearly. And, yeah, once we started talking again, we became best friends. But
Oh, that's a beautiful
so,
thing.
yeah, so once I moved to New England, that's when I met Duncan. Duncan and I got married. And
Mm-hmm.
Duncan was running this company, Louis Page. His grandfather
Mm-hmm.
started the company in 1893. There are very few
Wow.
companies in America that are that old. And
Yes.
so, yeah, so that's sort of the story. And then, I mean, I can go on if you want me to.
Well, yeah. So tell us a little about your transition from being a registered nurse to now a CEO.
Okay.
I
Well,
mean, wow.
I was a registered nurse for a long time working in labor and delivery. Then I became a lactation consultant because I saw
Mm-hmm.
such a need in the community for these moms who wanted to breastfeed but didn't have the support.
Mm-hmm.
As I was growing my business as a lactation consultant and bringing in other consultants to work with me, I began to realize,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I love growing a business. I really like that. So I went down the hall to Duncan. I said, hey, honey, I'd like to come to work for you. And he's going, what? And I said, yeah, I'd like to come to work for you because I love growing a company and I think I can really help Louis Page.
Uh-huh.
He said, I don't think that's a very good idea. He said, husbands and wives should not work together.
Right,
I,
right, right.
I talked to him a little bit more about it, but no, he was determined. Well, fast
Mm-hmm.
forward a year. my brother
Mm-hmm.
and his wife came and spent a week with us at the lake. And while we
Mm,
were there, they were there. My brother says to Duncan, "Hey, I want to come to work for you." Now, my brother had a wonderful history, very successful history of being a sales rep, and he
mm-hmm.
wanted to come on board and do sales for Duncan. And Duncan
Mm-hmm.
started thinking about that. He said, "Yeah, I think that's a good idea." And then Rick says, "Well, I'm only going to do that if Debbie comes on board too, because we're going to be the dream team."
I like it. I like it. I
And
like it.
that was a total surprise. I didn't know he was going to say that. And by that point, I was so much into my own business, I wasn't even interested in Louis Page. But the
Right.
two guys convinced me that I needed to come on board, and I did. And that was
Mm-hmm.
in 2011. And thank
Mm-hmm.
goodness I did, because that gave me 4 years to really get settled into the company, make changes that needed to be changed. They had a really archaic system of processing their orders and doing all their accounting.
Uh-huh.
And I just came on board and changed a lot of things. And then when Duncan passed in 2015, and I
Mm-hmm.
just automatically became the CEO, I at least knew the back end of the
Right.
company.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That is amazing. Tell your brother thank you because he
I
talked to you
know,
like, listen.
really. Woo, I should be telling him that every day.
So so let's talk about that a little bit. So what was like some of the lessons learned on, like some of the top tips for raising revenue during that time?
Oh, goodness. Yeah, that was a tricky thing because the company was very stagnant and had not
Mm-hmm.
grown in quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I was new and I was scared. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to go bankrupt and this company
Mm-hmm.
is going to go out of business and oh, I'm going to ruin the company. But a couple of things that stuck in my mind. One is before Duncan passed, because we knew his days were numbered, but before he
Right.
passed, he said to his brother and to his sister, "Debbie will do
Mm-hmm.
a better job running this company than I've ever been able to do because it is so much
Wow.
a part of who she is." She
Mm-hmm.
has he just felt like I had a natural ability to run a company. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
appreciated all that confidence he had in me, and I had to remind myself of that quite often. In fact,
Right.
one time I went to see my acupuncturist, and she knew Duncan and had loved him dearly. And she said, "So how's the
Uh-huh.
company going?" I said,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, I can't stand it. I hate it. I don't want to do this." And you know what he said to me? "Too bad." Like, whoa, no sympathy, no empathy, just too
Right.
bad. But
Right.
she was so right. And I needed
Mm-hmm.
to flip my thinking around and say, this is an incredible gift from God. And He is a giver
Right.
of wisdom, and He can give me wisdom to know how to grow this company.
Right.
So I started looking at various things. It took several years. I wasn't ready to do that in the first couple of years,
Mm-hmm.
but I began to look at different things, just doing some tweaks on the website, starting to learn how to market things. We started a
Mm-hmm.
weekly email, and that really helped to start to grow the business. And
Uh-huh.
following up with our customers, calling them and thanking them, and really visualizing that, where I will go through and I'll name our top customers, and I will say, "Thank you for this customer, and thank you for what they've done for our business and how they've helped us
Mm.
grow."
That is some good customer service. I'll tell you that. When you have something like that, that's why you was able to be incredibly successful. Y'all
Mhm.
been successful for 129 years. Like, what set y'all apart from other companies when it comes down to fits and materials?
Right, it has to be customer service because there's a lot of competition out there.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
So, yeah,
Mm,
we really work hard to really, you know, take care of each customer as they call us and really treat them well. And
mm-hmm.
if they ask us for something that we don't normally have in stock, I tell you what, Terry, my coworker, she goes to work and she will find that product if it's available.
I love that. I listen. I love that. I like it. I love stuff like that, especially with companies like that because they go above and beyond and they take their customers. Like y'all are us. So thank you. So anything that you need, like that's family for me, and I love that. So can you give me like who are like some of your most common clients who use your wiring mesh fencing?
Well, one of our top customers would be New York City Parks and Recreation. So they buy a lot of
Wow.
wire mesh from us, and they
Hmm.
typically use it to fence in areas such as, for instance, if have a nice extensive garden and they want to keep people out of it, they'll use
Uh-huh.
our material to fence that in so that it keeps people out. And I like to say we sell
Really?
to companies who need to fence people or animals in or out because sometimes they're fencing people out, sometimes they're maybe fencing people in.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
yeah.
yeah, in order, if you think about state parks, I mean, there's a park in Florida that they have this extensive wooden bridge that goes all the way across the river. Well, they put the wire mesh in as panels so that people can't fall into the water. Well, especially since there's alligators there, but they wouldn't want you to fall
Wow.
into the water anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then there's a lot of
Wow.
companies who are fencing out predator animals, even deer
Hmm.
who would come in and destroy crops, which I just had 8 deer in my yard just a little while ago eating, munching down some things. And then zoos are a big customer of ours. They,
Hmm.
need our wire mesh for fencing in all of their animals and their birds. So that's a great one too. We also have companies that tan leather. Now that was a brand new thought for me. It's like, really, they use
Hmm.
our wire
Tan
mesh for
leather.
tanning leather? But they do. And
Right.
so yeah. Oh, another one. You're gonna love this one. The
Okay.
pest
Okay.
control companies that build these cages out of our wire mesh, they put them on top of industrial buildings. And you know what those
Uh-huh.
cages are for?
No.
Or traps, maybe I should say, to for the roof rats.
Really? Wow.
So, what a
Wow.
huge difference for me to go from taking care of moms and babies in labor and delivery to thinking about roof rats. I said the only thing that we had in common is gauges because as a nurse, every time
Hmm.
you give a shot or to draw blood, you're conscious of the gauge of the needle. But for wire
Uh-huh.
mesh, it's the gauge of the well, still the gauge of the wire, but it's the gauge
Right.
of the wire that makes up the the fencing material.
Wow. Like I know. So now I know. So when I go to like some of the zoos, I'm like, yeah, I know where y'all get y'all mesh from. I know where y'all get it from.
Exactly.
I talked to the CEO. She told me where y'all get y'all mesh from. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh God.
Wow. See, these are things that a lot of people don't even know, right? And the fact
Yes.
that you are on here and you telling us, like, you just gave me a little bit of history lesson. Like I never knew that. Like we be seeing like all the cages and stuff like that and all the wires and be like, oh, all right, well, it just come from other people. But now I'm actually talking to the boss that mm, mm, mm. What a
Yeah,
blessing.
it gives you a
What a
whole new
blessing.
perspective on wire mesh and
Yes,
fencing.
it
I mean, I didn't even know what wire mesh was when I met Duncan. I'm like, wire mesh, what is that? Oh, that's what we sell, he said. So I said, oh, okay,
right.
all
Right.
right.
So everything in this world y'all never know is people are selling these things and you are selling something that's critical to a lot of buildings, critical to a lot of cages, critical to a lot of landscaping. Like, wow.
And for
Lesson learned.
recreation. I don't have you ever heard of paddle tennis
Yes.
or platform tennis?
So you do that too? You do that
Well,
too?
we have a manufacturer in South America, in Colombia, South America, who makes the wire mesh for the paddle tennis courts.
What? See,
Yes.
Look at this. Look at this right here. Look at how God works. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, so let's get into a
Oh,
little bit about, because you love to empower women a whole lot. So
I
what made
do.
you want to develop another company to focus on empowering women to realize their greatest potential?
Well, I realized after being with Louis Page for, I think, 10 years, something like that, 9 years maybe, I began to realize,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'm really missing, serving women in the way that I had
Mm-hmm.
done in labor and delivery, but even more specifically as a lactation consultant with my own private practice. And I had
Mm-hmm.
run mother and baby groups for about 10 years, where every
Uh-huh.
Tuesday and Friday, the moms would come in, they'd come to my group, we'd all sit and just chat. And I'd make bread every single Tuesday and Friday. I'd have that bread cooking, and they would smell it. And I
Really?
one day I heard one of the moms say, "Well, the only reason I come to the group is because I want to eat the bread." Well, I heard her say that, so I said, "I heard you. The only reason you come is to eat the bread." Well, I didn't mean to embarrass her, but it did sort of embarrass her. No, no, no. I come because I really love the group. But hey, the way to most people's heart is through their stomach. I don't care whether it's
Yes,
male
it
or
is.
female, whether you're tall or short or
Yes, it
whatever.
is.
People like to eat. So
Yes,
anyway, I
indeed.
felt like I want to get back in touch with that side of me. My children
Uh-huh.
had all left home by this point and were having their own
Mm-hmm.
children, and
Mm-hmm.
so I got I had a conversation with a guy, and he asked me if I'd start hosting his virtual mom summits. And I said I would
Mm.
love to do that. So then that
Mm.
opened up the door for me to think even more about what am I really doing and what is my calling, and
Mm-hmm.
can I juggle doing Louis Page and doing Debbie Page, as
Uh-huh.
someone who's empowering the women and moms.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was a stretch. I had to certainly get out of my comfort zone, but every day I would say, "What is my vision? What is my vision?" And I would sharpen it and sharpen it, and I just kept saying, "No, I want to empower moms. I want to help them." Well, let me step back just a second, because I think I
Mm-hmm.
was 60 when my husband passed. And when he
Mm-hmm.
passed, I realized, uh-oh, I am now a widow, and I
Mm.
am afraid financially for my future.
Mm.
And as I worked through that, I then decided I don't want other women to get to be 60 years old and be afraid of their financial future. And that was tremendous fuel for me to say, okay, you are going to figure out a way to empower women so that even in their 40s and their 50s, so before they get
Mm-hmm.
to be 60, they can
Mm-hmm.
learn how to go from feeling like they're trapped to being unleashed, how to create the life that they really desire by becoming the woman that they love.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of what my journey was.
Wow. I mean, just sitting. First, I gotta say this. You look very good for your age. Let
Oh,
me just
well,
go ahead and say that to you right
thank
now,
you.
because when you just said that you was 60 years old when your husband passed away, I'm sitting back looking like, what?
Well, well, actually, you know what? I guess I was 63 because I'm 68 now. So I'm getting
Wow.
closer to the seventh decade.
But you look beautiful. You look
Oh,
very
thank you.
beautiful.
I
You
think
look
it comes from the
very beautiful.
inside of
Yeah,
what
yes.
I just believe so much in life and in the spirit of life. I believe in myself,
Hmm.
and I think that's super important.
So let's give our listeners a little bit like what kind of courses or programs or books that are available for women who are looking for support now.
Okay. Well, my book, I am in the process of writing it. My goal is to publish it before Mother's Day, so that gives me about 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very close to being
Mm-hmm.
finished with that. Am in the process of developing my courses and my workshops. They also will
Mm-hmm.
be available. my goal is to have them all available by the end of May.
Mm,
And then
okay.
I will also start group coaching. And
Mm-hmm.
so my goal is to have small groups of women who really would
Mm-hmm.
like to have a little bit more um, individual attention. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that we do that super well in a group setting. And if I have someone who feels like she wants to go even beyond that, then I will do a few clients as a private one on one coaching. And it will
Okay.
all be to help empower women, to get them from feeling like they are just, trapped, to where they're just unleashed and they can soar. Because I know
Mm-hmm.
that every single person in this life can soar.
Yes. Very true. Very, very, very true. So now since you talk about that, right? So the courses that you're going to be having, because I know, you're talking about aspiring women. What kind of, what are some of the feedback that you can share from mothers and businesswomen who you work with?
Okay. One of the feedbacks that I get very regularly is, I cannot believe that you have this much energy at the age that you are.
I
I think
love
we're
that.
just and, I look back and I have to say, even a year ago, I didn't have the same level of energy that I have now.
Hmm.
And that is amazing to me. And to think that,
Wow.
I will have more energy next year. And my goal is to go into my 90s
Mm.
straight, upright, posture wise,
Uh-huh.
strong, flexible, and super energized. And I'm on target to do that.
No, you are. I mean, look at you now. Like I'm sitting back and I'm still just like amazed how, like you said, the energy that you have, the posture that you have. First of all, I like your spirit because I just feel like, you can tell somebody's spirit even when you're having conversations with them. And me having this visual, I can see that it's a good spirit. It's a good spirit.
Mm.
And your
Oh,
energy, yeah, yeah, definitely. So tell me about, tell me more about, the Mom Global Summit that is going to be happening in
yes.
September because I gotta know about that.
All right. So I've put on two global summits so far, and then the third one
Hmm.
will launch September 29th.
Hmm.
And um, I pre-record my interviews with speakers. I hand select every single speaker that I have because I want to
Hmm.
make sure they really have a heart for empowering women and for
Hmm.
loving women.
Hmm.
And have them address all the different subjects that really affect mom. Sleep being one of the big things because,
Mm.
you know, if you're not getting the sleep that you need, then your body's not regenerating properly, then you're not able to
Hmm.
have the energy and the attention that you need to have for whoever's in your life, whether it's young
Hmm.
children or teenagers or your spouse. So you've got to get the
Hmm.
sleep. You need to have good health. You need to make sure you're getting out moving. And I don't care whether people move fast. I'm not, I'm not a fast mover. I don't know if it's my southern roots or not, but I do
Talk
move.
about that. Talk about that real fast. Let me. Cause sorry to cut you off a little bit, but you know what? You're absolutely right. Cause it got to be from the South because I know a lot of people from the South, and they just be like, "Yo, am I in a rush?" Like my lady be like, "Am I in a rush?" And see, she's from down south, so it's like, wow, like y'all just
Yeah.
be chilling, right?
And I have to say, some of the training I've gotten in the more recent couple of years has been for me to talk faster. I'm like, whoa, it's not my personality, but I'm working on it. So, and I just got back from almost 3 months in South Carolina. I went down for the winter. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to do snow anymore.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I love?
Yeah.
Two things I absolutely loved. I could get sweet tea no matter where I went. You cannot get
Yes.
that up
Yeah.
here. And I could get
Yes.
collard greens. And I love both of
Mm.
those.
Mm. Now,
Oh,
let me ask a question. What part of South Carolina do you go to? Because
the
I go to
Charleston.
Charleston.
I went to the
Really?
Charleston area.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
stayed on Johns
that's
Island,
yep.
and oh,
Mm,
I
mm.
oh, I had a blast. And I was right on a tidal creek, so I could watch the water come and go, and I got to
Uh-huh.
watch all those incredible birds. I had a wonderful
Hmm.
time.
South Carolina is beautiful. Charleston is beautiful.
It
I
is, yeah.
remember being in Charleston because my family was actually from Goose Creek, South Carolina.
Oh,
So she
yes, I've heard of it. I
yeah.
haven't been there, but
Yeah, yeah. Monk's Corner, and
yes,
all those places. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very,
uh,
very beautiful place. Very beautiful place. So, so let's talk. Because I know we got off the subject a little bit with the global summit. That's going to be happening in September, and you said that you got two parts. So, what can people expect at the global summit? Because I know you said you handpick your speakers. What else can they expect from the global summit?
well, they will learn so many different ways to become a better version of themselves. And whether or not
Hmm.
that is, how do they relate to their spouse or how do they relate to their mother or to their children? Or how do they deal with a child who has ADHD or
Hmm.
autism? I really try to make this very holistic. I don't want to put
Hmm.
pressure on anybody to take on anything health wise that they're not really wanting to do. In other words, I'm not going to push organic foods. I may have a speaker who talks about it because they're passionate about it, but I am not
Hmm.
going to push that for anybody because for many, if not most families, it's not affordable.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
I
that's
don't
true.
want to segregate anybody. I want people to feel like, okay, yes, I can come to this and I can listen to this and have my life enriched as a result of it. The speakers are all pre-recorded, and then once it's
Hmm.
launched, you can get the recordings free for those 24 hours. And then the next day, the next set of
Wow.
speakers will be released. If you want to be able to get access to all of the talks for as long as you want
Hmm.
them, then you can become a
Hmm.
VIP member. So that's the way
Wow.
most summits run these days.
I
So, and then
love
there's
that.
always wonderful bonuses that our speakers
Hmm.
offer. So,
Well, listen, you got to come back on before the Mom Global Summit, for we can talk about it a whole lot more. So
let's
you
do
gonna have to
that.
book that. Yes, yes.
Yeah, and
So,
I'll have my speakers lined up by then too. So
oh,
I'm
even
excited
better,
to line them
even
up now. So
better.
yeah.
So what are some greatest like quotes or life lessons that you live by?
Oh goodness, I would say my own quote is,
Hmm.
and I say this every single morning. I am
Hmm.
so, and I do it with my arms. I am so glad to be alive. Today is the best day of my life because today I know more than I knew yesterday. And today I love more people than I did yesterday. And
Mm.
that's how I
Well,
start each day.
you know what? You're gonna have to say that one more time because we're
Okay.
gonna make that. We're gonna make that right there. That's gonna be the video that's gonna be showing. This is the quote from Miss Deb. Go ahead one more time.
I am so glad to be alive. This is the best day of my life because I know more today than I knew yesterday, and I love more people than I did yesterday.
Mm. I love that quote. I love that quote. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Oh,
Well, listen, thank you so much for joining me here on the OT Radio Show. I appreciate you starting off this beautiful Monday off with a bang. So, everybody, see, we giving y'all some life lessons here. So, can you tell our listeners where they can, stay connected with you, where they can follow you at, and, you know, any social media, any websites?
yeah. So I'm on Facebook as Debbie dot debrapage.com.
Mhm.
But you can always, I love personal contact with people. So reach
Mhm.
out to me. Just send me an email at Debbie, which is Debbie, at Debra, Debra Page, Page. So Debbie at debrapage.com. Reach out to me. Let me know that you have thoughts or questions or ideas even. Even if you have an idea for a speaker for my summit, I'd love to hear that.
I love it. Well, I'm going to be reaching out to you because I just love the fabulous things that you're doing, and you're going to have to tell our listeners a little bit more. So, uh, let's try to get you booked right before the summit for you can have everything listed and we can talk a little bit more too. So let's try to I'll be emailing you and I email your publicist and
Okay.
we can go ahead and get that going because we got to get that going because I love this energy. I mean, hey,
Oh, good.
woo,
Oh, I'm so
I
glad.
love
And
it.
I'm just, again, so thrilled to be with you and to be in your presence. I'm like, whoa, this is just tremendous for me. So thank you. Thank you.
Well,
I'm not
thank
going to
you,
come in
thank
all
you.
piled down, and I'm not going to try and put a hat on because it's not going to fit right now.
Well, listen, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you so much. Welcome to the family because now you are part of the show family. So, welcome to the
Oh,
OT Radio Show family. So, like I always tell anybody, anything you need from us, any if you want to come back on and talk a little bit more to us, you are open to it. So, hey,
oh,
we're here for you. But thank you again for joining me, and I'll be connecting with you very, very soon, probably in the next 24 hours. So
okay.
thank you so much. And I'll be seeing you again.
All right.
I'll
And
be
have a
seeing you again.
salubrious day.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. I
Oh, I
appreciate
will.
you. Love the energy. And now, like I said, now I can go to these spots and be like, hey, I know where you get your mesh from. I know where you get it from. Yes, I talked to the CEO myself. I know. I know. But thank you again.
All
I'll
right.
be
Thank you.
talking to you later.
All
All
righty.
right. Talk to you. Bye
Bye-bye.
bye. Good show, good show, y'all. Wow.
That
Outstanding
was
show. Listen, I loved her so much. I appreciate her so much. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all make sure y'all go ahead and check her out. Deborah Page, make sure y'all check her out. She is doing very big things. Get ready for the summit. The Moms Global Summit is coming. It's happening in September. So listen, we want to get her back on. Y'all better get ready for this. Make sure y'all go ahead and check her out on Facebook. Everything is in the description bar. Check her out on Facebook. Like she said, she loves to interact. So make sure y'all shoot her an email and tell her with love that you appreciate her. Because hey, she is doing a lot of wonderful things, y'all. A lot of wonderful things. Well, listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for joining me here on this beautiful Monday. And make sure y'all join me tomorrow on this beautiful Tuesday that we're going to be having. Because, like I said, we started off with Miss Page today, Monday. So you know Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is going to be outstanding. Because when you got a special guest that have the energy like she had and the spirit like she had, and listen, and was happy like she was, listen, brighten up your day every day. So when you get up in the morning, like she said, be happy because you're alive. You woke up this morning. Be good to other people. Love other people. Have that spirit. I love y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Same place, same time. Thank you for watching your boy OT. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you love me. Make sure you subscribe to me. Follow me. Check me out on all Instagram, all Twitter, even the website otradioshow.com. Hey, love on me. Thank you for watching. I will see y'all tomorrow. Thank y'all again. Peace.